Hello, it's the Sinister Gambino here with a new video. In this video, I'm going to be going over the Newswire that came out today, talking about the update that's coming out September 10th, of course, the Summer 2019 Red Dead Online update, which definitely seems like it's going to be the biggest update for the game by like miles, compared to like the 22619 update and like the spring 2019 update, the latest one, of course. So, of course, the first interesting thing I found within the first paragraph was the release date, the September 10th one, of course, which is exactly a week as of today, of course. And by the way, there's no event week, according to the looks of it, for this game. So don't expect an event week stream on this channel. Like the last week, of course, since it was a 2-week event week for the last event week. And then they also called roles Frontier Pursuits, so it seems they're known as Frontier Pursuits mainly now. I thought they, I'm kind of confused though. They call it like specialist roles, but now they're calling it Frontier Pursuits. So I'm not really sure what the proper terminology is, or if they're both proper terminologies somehow. But regardless, onto the second paragraph. The only interesting thing I found in there was that they mention it's an ongoing series of roles. So even aside for this update, they're going to expand on the role-playing aspect of the game, or the roles. So that's definitely pretty exciting. Is they're going to be continuing these, and it won't just be the trader, collector, and then the bounty hunter, of course. So that's pretty exciting, as long as this update, of course, turns out really well, which honestly I have a very good feeling it will. And then, of course, in addition to those, there's other different changes. A couple I'm pretty sure they've already mentioned before, but a couple of the highlights that I noticed, which I'm not sure if they brought them up before, but there's new ability cards that are coming out. I definitely don't recall them mentioning that before. Though, of course, it's going to be pretty interesting to see how they pair the ability cards from day one of the game. And I wonder if they'll be unlocked through the roles. I would have to imagine they would. It would only make sense to me. Because they can deepen the character of the different, like, roles, of course, with, like, the ability cards, make them fiend around the 3 different roles. I definitely think that would be pretty cool. And then, of course, daily role challenges. That's the other one I found pretty interesting. So I'm guessing they're going to be very similar to the current daily challenges we have right now. I feel like the daily challenge section, like the interaction menu of the game, is going to be expanded upon. So, for example, they might rename the category to objectives, and then clicking on that will give you the option to view normal daily challenges and then maybe daily role challenges. Maybe that's how it could work, of course. But I'm guessing daily role challenges, a big difference with those would be that instead of normal XP, I would imagine you could get like role XP or whatever it's called. Yeah, I'm looking down on it later on the Newswire, and it does say it's role XP. So those are a couple interesting things I saw in the third paragraph. But anyways, on to the next clip here. With each role, you'll have new pursuits, of course, to embark on. And something I found pretty interesting is the skills as you progress will get you cash and gold payouts. So when I first heard of the cash and gold and how it would work with the roles, I kind of thought it would be more like a passive thing. Well, actually, no. I'm pretty confused. It kind of sounds like you just get cash and gold from the roles, like what you do in the roles. Though who knows, maybe like leveling up the roles, of course, with the role XP. Maybe that somehow gives you a small amount of cash and gold, who knows. Because they do give gold already, of course, for things as simple as daily challenges, so it wouldn't be far-fetched to get gold from ranking up with the roles. Though cash, on the other hand, I'm pretty confused on. I think it's just saying that you have to earn the cash, like you don't just get it from like ranking up. And then, of course, they confirm once again as the game continues to evolve, there will be more frontier pursuits, giving new roles, choices, and more ways to personalize your experience in the game, of course. And then it says each role automatically earns role XP as you complete activities. So it sounds like it's a kind of like active type of thing. For example, how there's like passive businesses in GTA Online. Doesn't entirely sound like there's going to be a passive way to get XP with the roles. I kind of thought that through what they said about the update before. It seems like you get the XP strictly through like the activities with the roles. Like it doesn't just automatically like get you a small bit of XP just by like being AFK in the game or something like that, for example. And then, for example, when you hunt a bounty, you'll earn raw XP for the bounty hunter, and then so on, of course. Raw XP counts towards progression through 20 role ranks. So there's only 20 ranks per role. So that's pretty interesting there. And then you also reach a new tier of distinction every 5 ranks, which with the first one being novice, then promising, then established, then distinguished. I'm pretty sure the first 3 were shown off in the screenshots, which I'll be going over later, by the way, in this video, of course. So definitely we'll take a deeper look into different distinctions or whatever. And then unlocking a role rank earns role tokens. So just like the Diamond Casino and Resort DLC for Grand Theft Auto Online, with the latest DLC, it is going to get a new currency. The game, of course, will have a new currency with this update. And at certain ranks, you'll earn new skills. Like the bounty hunter can get the ability to duck on horseback, and then the trader can train their camp dog to warn of camp raids. And then you can also get satchel upgrades as well. Which interesting thing about that would be if like the single player satchels make their way into the game. Or if it's not going to be like aesthetic and it's just going to be your normal looking satchel with like increased capacity. I hope they do add the satchels from single player. So like the former of what I said rather than the latter of what I said, which would just be to add the capacity. Just have more tangible content in the game, of course, and not have them just be lazy and just implementing them to your existing satchel. And then, of course, there's the legend of the each satchel as well in the single player, so it's not like they're gonna entirely have to force you to just choose one satchel for whatever you want to hold the most of. So I hope they can somehow implement the legend of the each satchel from single players so that all your stuff can have expanded capacity. I believe I counted like 5 or 6 satchel upgrades that they talked about in this newswire, by the way. There might have been like 8 or so in single player, I'm not too sure. So I'm not sure if all of them are necessarily returning as well, of course. And then you can also access the role-specific free roam events. So I guess free roam events like Railroad Baron, for example, there's going to be more of those. Except more geared towards the roles. That's also going to be very interesting. And each tier also has a kit of items unique to the role, which are purchased with those role tokens. And then the Trader's Novice Kit gives you access to 7 role items, which I believe is the first screenshot I'll be going over. And it includes a unique saddle, gun belt, and stew pot that provides the camp with fresh meals to refuel to refill cores and stuff like that. And then you can even get additional recipes for the stews as well, for gold cores specifically. So a couple things in there. I guess there's gonna be like themed gun belts and like maybe bandoliers and stuff like that, similar to single player, how like the challenges in the game got you certain gun belts and stuff. So that's definitely pretty exciting. That there's gonna be gun belts and stuff geared towards the different roles. And then also the stew pot. It's not just limited to the like basic stew pot of single player, it seems like, but there's also enhanced stew pots as well. That's pretty nice. So I guess wouldn't that like make one of the day one like challenge, like one of the day one like items at the camp like irrelevant? Like I believe if you get like certain tents, it refills their cores certain ways. Maybe just do might make that more irrelevant. I'm not too sure. That's pretty interesting there. And then while the Bounty Hunter's established kit, which I believe is the second screenshot, gives you access to another 7 items, including a bounty wagon to hold multiple bounty targets, the Boa's throwing weapon, the Tangled Lakes of bounties, a new outfit, and more. So it sounds like the Boa's throwing weapon won't just be restricted to using on like bounty missions. Seems you might actually be able to use it like no matter what you're doing in the free modes. So that's definitely pretty exciting. And then they talk about the players that progress to distinguished ranks will earn a new range of skills for all their pursuits in the frontier. So I guess anything you unlock with the roles aren't just going to be limited to the roles, thankfully. And you can like maybe play as all 3 of them, use the stuff, and then maybe not be a role and use the stuff from those roles as well, when unlocked, of course. And recognizable clothing. I'll show off your accomplishments in each discipline. And now I will be going over the 3 screenshots of like the novice distinctions and stuff like that. Onto the 3 screenshots of the like ranking and progression of the different roles. Starting with the bounty hunter one. What I can first tell, of course, is there's 4 like circles underneath the novice text. Of course, that's for like the 4 like different like installments of like 5 ranks or whatever. So every 5 it changes from like novice to like the progressive one or whatever, etc., etc. And then of course we have a look of what the currency looks like, not just in terms of like what the unlockable page looks like, but it's like a currency in like blue on the top of the screen that joins in addition to the cash and the gold, of course. It's to the left of the gold on the top. So that's a pretty nice indicator of exactly how much of those role tokens or whatever you have. And then there's like special ones for like the 3rd, 4th, and 5th one, at least for the novice section for Bounty Hunter. So you definitely make it very clear which is which and whatnot. Not surprised there. But you unlock one per rank for sure, it seems, which will especially be prevalent as it goes on to the 3rd screenshot, of course. The 5th one, rank 5. You have a rank 5 for novice. It seems like there's like a emote or action that you unlock with your guns. I'm guessing it's just like a cool little emote, I'm guessing. And then the novice kit, which is what you use the different tokens for, it seems is the stuff you purchase with them. There seems to be a like gun belt or something, as mentioned in the newswire. Like earlier, I think it's one of the things that was already mentioned. Other ones on here I think are mentioned later on in the newswire. And then I guess another emote with guns, I guess. I'm not sure. And then either the ducking on horseback or like Eagle Eye Plus or something, I think, is the horse icon. There's a saddle, as mentioned earlier on the newswire, I think. An outfit, I think a holster, and then a reinforced lasso for the bounty hunter. And I'm not entirely sure what all the icons are going to be for like the rank unlocks, of course. And then onto the promising section for trader. You can see the trader is rank 6. So the first like rank unlock for that for promising is the ingredient satchel upgrade, which unfortunately kind of does sound like it's gonna just be a like a non-aesthetic thing. It just seems like it's gonna add to the amount you can carry, and it's not gonna be like a unique looking satchel like in single player. Though maybe I'm wrong, and maybe I'm not like thinking of like the image on the screenshot too much. Not entirely too sure, but if that is what like the single player one looks like, do let me know. That would be pretty interesting. And then I'm not sure what the like eye thing is or whatever. The one in the middle for rank 8 seems to be related to like the dog or whatever. The canine companion. And then yeah, it seems like there is a outfit to unlock. I'm guessing the wheel might be a wagon. So interesting thing about the wagon, I wonder, is if you can like call it up to you at like any time, like a horse or something. That would be pretty interesting. Something with weapons again, like a glove or something. I'm not too sure. I think the knife thing. I think there's a like look you can get for your knife or something for the 5th promising kit item. And then some like tent or something. I'm not too sure. Notice how there's not like coin counts on those ones. Guessing because they were probably bought already. And then onto the collector. The collector one shows rank 14. Hence 4 of them have the check mark and one has a lock icon. And rank 12. Rank 12 gets you equine assistance, which gets you to collect items from horseback. Then an establishment. And then in the established kit, there's an outfit. Something else. A couple of these I'm not entirely too sure on. Seems like some kind of clothing item for the 5th one. 4th one might be a like haircut, hence the scissors. And notice as well that the role token count is 2 for all of the established kit items. So as you go up, the cost will go up as well. They're not just gonna all cost 1 role token, which I guess is for longevity purposes. Maybe some other gun emote and then something relating to a horse. But on to the next clip. Onto the bounty hunter. You can get started as a bounty hunter when you meet the legendary bounty hunter. Now I'm not entirely sure if this is a character from the story mode, or if somehow he's a stranger already in the game in Red Dead Online, or if he's somehow in Red Dead Redemption for any reason. I don't know, if I were to take a guess, he might be one of those bounty hunters from one of the like stranger missions in Red Dead Redemption 2. Either that, or he's like a whole new like character. Maybe even, I'm not too sure. But come on, Rockstar, couldn't you have brought back like Landon Ricketts? Since I have been told before, my Red Dead Online character does look like Landon Ricketts, so for that reason I kinda would want Landon Ricketts to make a return. No, unfortunately it does not seem to be the case. But yeah, you meet him in Rhodes. And then the paywall for getting this is a bounty hunter license. since apparently you need a license to bounty hunt. I'm not sure if that's realistic or not, but whatever. The standard cost is 15 gold bars, though if you are like me and are fortunate to have linked your Twitch Prime account to Rockstar Games Social Club, as long as you do it by Sunday, September 8th, so 2 days before the DLC drops, or of course you have till the end of the week, you will be able to get the Bounty Hunter license for free. So that's definitely pretty nice. And by the way, there's a way to get all of them for free, which of course I'll be going into more details of that, of course, as I get on with this video. But of course, licensed bounty hunters can pick up work by going to bounty boards in law offices, post offices, and in train stations. Now, I'm not sure if they're hinting at how there might be more spawns for the, like, bounty hunting stuff compared to, like, single player. Because I think single player was all with, like, post offices and, like, law office stuff. I don't know if there was any in train stations. Though I think some post offices are next to train stations, so who knows, it might just be a fancy way of, like, naming all the locations, like mentioning some of the like types of locations for the spots. So it might just have all the same like spawns as in single player for the bounty hunting jobs, or of course there could be more easily. But anyways, it is all across the states throughout the 5 different territories, it seems. And then, of course, it also talks about how there's no shortage of criminals, so it seems like it's going to be a thing you can do infinitely, not too surprised, of course. Don't wonder if there will be, like, a cooldown or anything similar to, like, businesses in GTA Online, how you have to, like, wait a couple minutes to, like, store some stuff sometimes and whatnot. And then the targets range in difficulty as well, so I wonder how exactly they're going to show that off, if they're going to have like a star rating for each like thing or anything like that. That would be an interesting thing to find out when the update comes out. And then of course it goes to low level thieves to notorious outlaws with armed protection and watchful eye. And then of course the ones that are much harder are easier to do with a posse. So it seems they're going to definitely encourage teamwork, at least with the bounty hunter role. I would imagine the trader role might also be encouraged with teamwork. Not too sure on the collector though, if that would be very teamwork focused. But so far the bounty hunter definitely seems to be very teamwork focused for the higher ones. Though it doesn't sound like you do have to do it with a posse, thankfully. Seems if you are pretty good at this game and want to take a challenge at pretty hard bounties, you are allowed to, which is definitely nice. Since it said it's made easier, so it doesn't say like it's required to have a posse for sure. But if you do have a posse, like multiple people will earn the cut, so it does seem to be a shared cut and not like a cut like for everyone, like the same cut for everyone necessarily. So of course, if you do it by yourself, you might gain a very tremendous reward if you can manage those really difficult ones. That would definitely be a very nice challenge to do when the update comes out for like a bunch of very hard bounties. Try to do them all by myself and whatnot. So that definitely seems to be a very good sign for lone wolves like myself. And of course, bringing targets alive will yield a greater reward. And I would have to imagine you would get half the reward exactly, which I think is how it works in single player for sure. And yeah, I'll be talking more about the bounty hunter. In the next paragraph, what I found interesting with the bounty hunter is eclipsing rank 12 will unlock player bounties for $20 or more. So someone has to have a $20 bounty or above, of course, in order for you to go against the player and get their bounty. So that's definitely nice that the bounty feature from Grand Theft Auto Online, where you can go against other players, will finally be unlocked for Red Dead Online. And I like how you have to earn it as well. I definitely do like that personally. And you'll be notified through an invite about the person when you're nearby. So it will definitely be using the proximity feature, so you can't just like go against a like player from like different territories away. So like if you're in New Austin and someone else is like in Amberino, you're definitely not gonna be getting an invite for that. Especially with the slow transport in this game, for sure. And of course the opposing player must escape or surrender within the time. So it does seem to be a timed thing as well. Definitely very curious how exactly that would work. And I wonder if the person surrenders, if you'll be getting the money like in full, or if like somehow you get less money if the person surrenders, rather than having to like forcefully take the person to like the sheriff or whatever. Not entirely sure. Just a little something to consider. And if they're captured, of course, they'll have opportunities to escape and flee. So for the players, you'll definitely want the reinforced lasso, I'm pretty sure. Because it does seem pretty easy to escape from the lasso. That's currently in the game, of course, since otherwise it would probably be OP if it weren't easy to escape the lasso in the game right now. Definitely curious how good the reinforced lasso would work. Definitely very interesting. Definitely very interested how much better it is than a normal lasso. And then if the bounty hunter brings the player alive, they'll receive the award. While of course the criminal saves time. Maybe you can kill the player as well for half the money, which is interesting. So that's definitely a pretty cool like concept. Because the way it works in GTA Online is you kill the person, you get the full amount. Of course, not like an actual bounty where you're able to take the person alive. It just doesn't work like that in GTA Online. So that's definitely very interesting. Even though GTA Online has like proper bounty thing in the single player and in online for the stone hatchet. Onto some of the unlocks for the bounty hunter, of course. There's focus, which makes, of course, Eagle Eye more useful. The reinforced lasso, which once again you will want for gain players for sure. The reverse spin, which is probably some sort of like action and emote thing. For pistols and revolvers, wonder how exactly that would work, because I don't think it like actually enhances like your shooting or anything. I would definitely imagine. I think it's like some action or emote thing at the most. A tonic satchel upgrade for more tonics, of course. Once again, I'm not sure if it will like look aesthetically different like in single player, or if it's gonna just retain the same like default look the satchel has right now. And then there's Eagle Eye Plus, of course, which allows you to track enemies while sprinting or galloping. So you don't really have to worry about your speed when using Eagle Eye then. Which of course probably works in tandem with focus, I would imagine. The spin up, of course, another like emo with guns or whatever. A kit satchel upgrade, store more items in the kit pouch specifically for the satchel. Which once again I'm unsure if the thing will look aesthetically different, or if it's just gonna have the plain old satchel look. And then a tracking arrow pamphlet, so there's gonna be new pamphlets with the DLC as well. And it does confirm there's a new arrow coming out into the game, the tracking arrow. A pamphlet recipe on how to craft tracking arrows. That kind of sounds scary. It kind of makes me think of the homing launcher, but for a bow and arrow. Hope it's not like a homing launcher with the arrow. That would definitely kind of suck. Reverse spin up, probably another like emote thing. ducking, which allows you to duck for protection while on horseback. Definitely pretty curious how that one would work. What like button they could do it with or whatever. The bolas, which is a throwing weapon, which is good for tangling the legs of a bounty, which might also be a pretty necessary one for going against players for sure. A bounty wagon, a wagon for securely retaining bounty targets. So there will be other ways to like keep targets, to, like not get them to escape with a particular like wagon. So that's pretty interesting. Perception. Receive a notification of bounties from a greater distance. So maybe from like a single territorial way or something like that. Alternating flips is just another one of those like emo things, and so is dual gun spinning. And now I will be going on to the trader. Onto the trader, I only found a couple things interesting in the first paragraph about it. It's going to be utilizing crypts, of course, so crypts in the camp will finally have a much more like viable role in the game. His role has been pretty limited in the game so far. So it's definitely good to see that Rockstar is going to be using crypts finally for some very good content in the game, of course. And then also his company is called the Crypts Trading Company. That's the only other thing in there I found interesting. And then when you agree to help Crypts, you can turn your camp into a business by sourcing like items, of course, and converting them into goods like pelts and stuff like that, surely. And then another investment of 15 bars is normally going to be required for the butcher's table. However, you can get it for free by just being on PlayStation 4. Though do keep in mind that it might only be for 30 days, the PlayStation 4 getting it for free. The way it's worded on the newswire, it sounds unlimited though. Like the time seems like it's an unlimited time offer, and that it doesn't expire. Though knowing what has happened before, it's probably only going to be a 30-day thing. So you might definitely want to get on for like the first month of the DLC if you really want the free butcher table instead of having to pay 15 gold bars. Unfortunately for those Xbox One players, there is no way to get it free if you are on Xbox One, it sounds like. So that is pretty unfortunate. And then once operational, you'll provide crypts with materials through hunting animals, specifically like pristine pelts and carcasses will get great yields. And then you'll also have resupply missions like the typical businesses in Grand Theft Auto Online to acquire additional necessities through less than savory tactics. And once he's supplied, it will turn materials into sellable goods, which you can send on low-risk deliveries for payment, or you could of course go greater distances for premium. And those greater distances would probably be across like multiple territories, of course. So that's definitely going to be pretty interesting. And then you can improve hunting yields of a hunting wagon, of course, for larger hauls, or upgrade a delivery wagon. So it seems like the wagons will be upgradable, similar to the delivery vehicles of this Finance and Felony DLC, the Special Cargo. There was a few upgradable vehicles like the Tug and the Cuban 800 and stuff like that. And then, yeah, the upgrades I think are also similar to like how After Hours did it, where you could buy vehicles and upgrade them, of course, because you need to buy a couple vehicles for After Hours. So it might work like that as well, who knows. So I wonder if the customizations on the wagon would be big or if it would be pretty small. I'm not expecting much customization on it, but just an interesting little thought, of course. And then as it flourishes and your presence becomes known in the market, your competition may be bigger, of course, due to success. So of course you can get rated like with biker businesses and the special cargo and stuff like that. Not sure if there is a business that can't be rated. I don't know, I don't think Hangar can be rated in GTA Online. But of course you can get rated here. And as the trade grows, you might want to get a dog, of course, from Wilderness Outfitters. So, that's pretty interesting. Seems like there's gonna be like a new like place to buy stuff. Might be a new place to actually buy like a camp dog. So is it like an actual like physical place in the game where you buy the dog? That would be very interesting actually. Not only are they great camp companions, but a trader of sufficient rank can also teach the dog to warn of incoming attacks. And then I'll be going into the unique skills for the trader, of course. Some of the trader unlockables includes the stew pot, which gets you a camp upgrade, of course. That unlocks stew and even select recipes for it as well. So unlike in single player where there was only the one stew, I'm pretty sure there's of course different types of stew in this game, which of course will boost different cores each. The ingredients satchel, of course, will let you store more ingredients. Though of course I'm not sure if it's going to make an aesthetic change on the satchel or not, unlike in single player. Awareness, which allows you to identify rival trader wagons at an increased range, just which is the trader variant of like perception from the bounty hunter. Canine warning, which of course will train your dog to warn of thieves raiding the camp. You probably don't actually get to train it, of course, it's probably just like an upgrade. Knowing Rockstar, of course. Medium and large delivery wagons. So there's different sizes for like different amounts of like supplies. So it definitely gives me a good like vibe of like after hours, where of course the free speedo van was for small deliveries. Then you could buy the mule custom for medium deliveries and the pounder custom for larger deliveries. Whereas the special cargo, the vehicle you got just depended on how many supplies you got. You didn't have to actually buy those delivery vehicles. And then, of course, a weapon locker, which is the gun locker variant of this game from Grand Theft Auto Online, of course. A lance knife, which is a knife style that's available just for traders. So I guess like a different style you can get at like the gunsmith, of course. Just like you can color the knife in the game currently in Red Dead Online. And of course the single player. Efficiency, learn to increase the amount of usable materials from perfect carcasses. So it's kind of like the equipment upgrade from like the bunker from GTA Online, it sounds like. The material satchel upgrade allows you to store more materials. And once again, I am unaware if it will have an aesthetic difference on the satchel or if it's just gonna upgrade the capacity. A hunting wagon, sturdy wagon fit for carrying multiple carcasses, hides, and pelts. So maybe that's like the default wagon, unlike the medium and large delivery wagon, which can hold more, of course. Or maybe it's an entirely different wagon with a different purpose, I don't know. And then protection reduces the chance of raids at the camp. And of course, they only give a chance of reducing it. It doesn't fully reduce it like it probably should, in my opinion. Buying an upgrade. On this game, it's probably not going to be like expensive or anything, unlike GTA Online. If it just uses like the token system, I don't think it would be that bad. But of course, that's something we would have to wait for when the update comes out. So of course they returned the frickin' security upgrade from Grand Theft Auto Online in the form of protection. And then, of course, I'll be going onto the collector. In the first couple paragraphs here, I only found like a couple interesting things. First interesting thing was, of course, the character, Madame Nazar, which is the contact you'll be working for, which I'm assuming for sure is a new character. I don't recall that person in the story mode of the game or in Red Dead Redemption or anything. Though, of course, I would be curious if anyone by any chance knows if it's a new character or not. And then the way to get this one for free is by collecting all 54 hidden playing cards in Grand Theft Auto Online. So it gives even more purpose for the hidden playing cards in GTA Online. So I'll probably be streaming that tomorrow, aka Wednesday, when this video is getting uploaded. So definitely look out for me doing a stream for that tomorrow, maybe. Since there's no event week for Red Dead Online, apparently I might as well do that stream tomorrow. And of course, it's 15 gold bars if you don't have the playing cards collected. And unlike the Twitch Prime thing, it does not seem to have a time limit, so it seems you can do the playing cards at like any time. Though for that to be unlocked in Red Dead Online, it might take a couple of days or something, who knows. So you might have to account for a couple more days after you collect the 54 playing cards. You might definitely really want to look into like collectible guides on the 54 playing cards. Personally, for me, I'll be doing it as a live stream, since most people were obviously doing theirs as like videos and stuff. But regardless, the one thing I found interesting in like the second paragraph on screen right now is the couple of different like collectible stuff, which apparently you can find tarot cards in abandoned camps, and then buried treasures unearthed. You can unearth buried treasures with your trusty shovel, which I'm guessing you have to unlock the shovel, so you might not be able to do that initially, or it might be an upgraded shovel you unlock, I don't entirely know. And then hidden family heirlooms and more. So for the tarot card specifically, it kind of gives you a good idea where you might want to be searching in abandoned camps, of course, specifically. And like hidden family heirlooms, there might be like one in like one area of the Braithwaite Manor or something. Except I don't think it's burned down in the online like it is in story mode eventually down the line. And then of course I'll be going over the rest of the trader. As for this paragraph, I only found a couple things interesting with it, as far as I've been able to tell, of course. And it is the fact that you can sell as individual pieces, or you could collect entire sets. Though I do think that was mentioned in a previous news wire. However, the other interesting thing I don't necessarily think was alluded to in the previous news wire. I find it interesting as this collect individual pieces and sell them off directly to Madame Nazar. But as for entire sets, it doesn't necessarily say that. So for entire sets, is it going to like be still with Madame Nazar, or are you gonna be giving it to like different like people for higher rewards or something? That would be pretty interesting. And then also the like entire sets reminds me of like the collections or whatever from Grand Theft Auto Online with the import-export DLC, where you would get like a couple to a few like different cars and then sell them to one person for like a bigger reward compared to selling like one at a time. So that's just a little interesting vibe I got over there. And then I'll be going into like the last two things on the newswire, and then that'll be it for this video. On to select collector skills and items, of course, and then I'll go into the and more section as well. We have divination, which allows you to sense one near collectibles, which I think is pretty interesting, of course. A Pennington field shovel, an essential tool for uncovering buried collectibles. So I wonder how you would start off as collectibles when like going underground and stuff like that. It's gonna be unlocked with like the rank system or whatever. That would be pretty interesting. Maybe there's some like collectible stuff like above ground, of course, if that's not an upgraded shovel, if it's like the only shovel in the game, that is specifically. Potential to detect disturbed earth when using Eagle Eye. Interesting there. I guess disturbed earth would be where things would be underground. I'm not entirely sure. Intuition, which narrows your search area. Which I believe, like, didn't the bounty hunter and the trader have, like, things that would increase your range for being able to do certain things? This one, like, decreases your range for, like, finding things. So, of course, it makes sense for the collectibles a decrease range or something, because then it makes it easier to find and whatnot. Horse saddlebag upgrade, which will just allow you to upgrade your horse's saddlebags. I'm not sure if that was a thing already in the single player or if I'm thinking of something else. I think there's like the larger saddlebags or something in the game right now, even for Red Dead Online, so maybe it's a even further storage upgrade for the saddlebag, I'm not sure. Refined binoculars, specialized binoculars of course, that will make dig sites glow from a great distance. Interesting, so I don't know if that's the disturbed earth once more, or if that's completely different. The Gila machete or whatever, a classic machete restyled for adventurous and belligerent collectors. Now, I think that's basically just going to be a reskin of the machete, kind of like how there's like reskins of like other weapons, especially in the single player. There's like tons of different like tomahawks and like hatchets and stuff like that. So I think it's kind of just going to be like a reskin weapon. I don't think it's going to be like a customizable machete, though that would be pretty cool. So unfortunately, I think it's just going to be like a reskinned machete that you're probably not really going to end up using. Though, maybe not for all I know, once again. And then a metal detector, an important tool which can identify collectibles buried underground. So I guess that's like to figure out if there's something underground before you use the shovel, technically for sure. And then the Equine Assistance, which was on one of those like screenshots earlier of like the rank and progression system that I showed off. That allows you to collect herbs from horseback, of course. And then there's the horse lantern, of course, which allows you to light a path ahead with a lantern attached to the horse's breastplate. So I don't know if that's like a new thing you can put on your horse, the breastplate, or if that's like something already on it. Pretty sure it's something already on it, of course. But regardless, that's pretty interesting. And hopefully players just can't like shoot off the lantern on your horse and then cause you and your horse get on fire. That would suck. That would be interesting to see if that happens, where if someone does shoot your lantern, if it will go on fire. Though it might respawn for you eventually, I don't know. Because obviously, I don't think it's going to be like, once it's like destroyed, I don't think you're going to have to like pay for it again or whatever. But yeah, that's definitely going to be very interesting, because there are like lanterns on horses in the single player at least that you can shoot and they engulf in flames. Then there's a valuable satchel upgrade, so I guess there's only one satchel upgrade. At least the one that they had an honorable mention for on the newswire, which allows you to obviously store more valuables. Which is going to be an interesting thing about valuables as I get on with this. And of course the and more section. In addition to the roles, it will also have vast assortments of features, which includes role free roam events, which I believe was mentioned earlier, but once again, I believe just like the role daily challenges, it's going to be a role variant of like the free roam events. That's definitely going to be very interesting. Additional stable slots, so maybe 10 stable slots instead of the 5 we have right now. And god, those stable slots get expensive from what I can tell. So that's going to be a way for them to get a lot more money from players, I guess, to increase stable slots. I think they should have had 10 to begin with, to be honest, but Hopefully it turns to 10, of course, with the update coming out. Improved selling prices on jewelry, which was the interesting thing about the jewelry that I hinted at earlier. So it's nice to know they want to make the prices much more valuable for jewelry, not just through the collector, not just through the collector roll, but of course, general jewelry that you can get without the collector roll. Of course, lootable containers and wagons, so basically coach robberies, as they mentioned before. More custom outfit slots, and the ability to save outfits in the wardrobe. And name them specifically, that is. And then also, weapon rebalancing, apparently, to reduce reliance on headshots even more. They already kind of implemented something like that in the previous update, didn't they? Where like it no longer like locks onto the head, so you have to like move your like stick up to not get a headshot. So apparently they're doing further things to make you not get headshots. Like I don't entirely understand why, but whatever. To prevent as the primary kill in PvP and much more. So I guess they want more body shots, of course. Very unfortunate they're nerfing headshots as much as they are, in my opinion, because they already did that a little bit, I'm pretty sure, in the last update. Of course, the one we have right now. But anyways, holy hell, this is almost a 52-minute video. I rambled on for a while. There's a lot of information, I feel, here. Some that was, of course, from other news wires that I just wanted to talk more about, and then others, like, there's a lot of other, like, new details never heard before. But yeah, I might be doing a collectible stream for the playing cards, of course, so I can get the collector, like, the buy-in fee or whatever for free. So you might want to look out for that later today or maybe Friday. But anyways, that's going to be it for this video. Hope you enjoyed.